Well, hello, partner. How you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I am doing okay. Life has been lifing, but the
Mm,
reality is I'm hanging in here, and for that, I'm grateful.
me
So,
too, Lou. Me
yeah,
too.
yeah. So, welcome back, everyone. We are so very glad you're here. Today's conversation is one that really comes from a place of love, and it's not an easy one, but it's an important one. It's a follow-up to our earlier episode concerning Nolan Wells. And Teresa, I don't know if you heard about this, but that lady, Miss Rachel, who's sort of like the new Mr. Rogers for children, she said on her show that black boys deserve to grow up or to grow old. That's what she said. And people have been coming for her for that, threatening to cancel her show. People are saying some terrible things. And believe it or not, that's what she said. And this again, today's show is a follow-up to that because as black parents, grandparents, aunties, uncles, and caregivers, there's a truth that many of us carry every single day, and that is that we want our children to come home alive. Not not just successful, not just happy, but we want them home. We want them safe. We don't want to frighten anyone. However, our goal today is just to educate and to help us prepare.
That part, Lou. And that's a weight that many families understand without ever having to say it out loud, right?
Yeah,
The
yeah.
reality is that we want our children to experience joy, freedom, and childhood just like anybody else,
Yes,
right?
yeah,
At
yeah.
the same time, we know the world doesn't always see their innocence the way it should. Today's conversation isn't about raising children in fear. It's about raising them with wisdom. It's about preparation.
Teresa, that's so true, and especially the part about sometimes people don't see our children as children and they don't see their innocence because how many times have we watched a video, of something that happened in reality where an adult just went off on one of our children, and you're looking at this scene and saying, you're an adult, and don't you see this is a child? But
I, mm,
there's a disconnect there. They
yeah.
don't see it. And
Can,
so
can I just say
that's
one thing
what's,
before you go on? I hate to derail us, but I just saw something last night
uh
that was quite disturbing. It regarding a child and his
hmm
father. They were at a pool in an Airbnb,
hmm
and two ladies came over to them to ask them to leave. Saying that they didn't belong there. They were asking for, but they were the only black people
hmm
at the pool, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And the gentleman said, I'm here because we're staying at the Airbnb, right? And they had their vacation was coming to an end. They had previously been to the pool, but they were going one last time. Well, anyway, long story short, they were so persistent. They said they were going to call the police. He started recording. His son started crying, Lou. And when they
Yeah,
mentioned they were going to
yeah,
call the police,
yeah,
and they laughed.
yeah.
They thought
Wow.
it was funny that the child was worried that his father was going to be hurt by the
Yeah,
police.
yeah, yeah,
And his son was just saying, let's just go.
yeah,
I mean, I don't understand what's happening in the world today, Lou,
yeah,
but it
yeah,
is just so unfortunate how
yeah,
we're treated.
yeah. Well, Teresa, we teach our children to wear seat belts.
Mm,
We teach them from a young age to look both ways before they cross the street. We teach them to stop, drop, and roll if there is a fire, if their clothes are on fire. And you know what? Today's conversation is really another form of safety. It's a safety discussion. It's rooted in love. It's not about panicking. So before we begin, we want to acknowledge something very important. Every child deserves to feel safe, and every family deserves to believe their child will be protected. So many of the conversations we're having today come from our very real lived experiences of Black families and from documented disparities in how Black children are sometimes perceived and treated in public spaces. Our goal is to offer practical tools, not any guarantees, but to encourage communities to look out for one another. And I want to say that again. We can't guarantee what we're saying will solve the problem. That's our disclaimer. But what we are saying is that we have always pledged that this platform will be used to build community and to help be a part of the solution when there are issues we feel that need to be addressed. And today's episode is just that. It's an attempt to honor our mission, our goal here at Earrings Off. So we're going to start today with something simple. Make sure your child knows their full name, home address, and at least one phone number completely by memory, that they have that information memorized.
Right. And today, the children just totally rely on these devices. And I
Not
can
just
just
children, we do too, but yeah.
that is true. That is so true. And the kids they will tell you, my phone has that information.
Mhm,
But the phones get lost. They die, the
mhm.
batteries will die. Sometimes your phone isn't even accessible. Your memory stays with you. Make sure your children know that one phone number, that one name, their address by
Yeah,
memory.
yeah, yeah. And you know what? And if they look at you side-eyed when you say that, when you're trying to talk to them about this, just stay calm and say, you know what? I need you to know how to get back home. Even if you don't have your phone, even if you can't get to some type of device with it on there, I need you to get back home. I need you to get home safely. That's not fear, that's preparation.
Yeah, Lou, that is so true. Our second conversation is about moving through public places.
And that's whole nother thing. That requires a different type of
Mm-hmm.
awareness and knowledge.
Mm-hmm. Stay with someone, preferably the people you came with, right? Stay
Yeah.
with someone, whether it's in the mall, the fair, a football game, a concert. If you're just going to the movies,
Mhm.
don't leave to go anywhere without your friends or a partner. Stay with someone. Don't wander off alone.
And yes, we get it. Teresa and I are not so old that we don't remember our teenage years. And we get it. Teenagers love independence. That is what it's all about. That independence and being able to go and come and to send signals that you're almost an adult. We get it. We understand that. But having another person with you means someone notices if something isn't right. So there's somebody that can call for help, somebody that can say, you know what, they were just with me. And sometimes having that, it matters more than you realize. It's so important to have that second voice, that second set of eyes to be
Mm-hmm.
aware.
It's
So
so true, Lou.
please remember that. Now, we're going to talk about something that's difficult, but it's reality. We want our children to know that sometimes people will see them differently simply because of the color of their skin. They're going to make assumptions that they're older, that they're a threat, and that they're not innocent, and sometimes that they don't have values. They Our children are sometimes not seen as important in the lives of others. I know it's hard to hear, but that's reality. And the only way we can prepare is to start and move from a place of our reality. We have to do that. Take the blinders off.
Lou, it's not fair.
Not,
It shouldn't happen. But pretending it doesn't exist doesn't prepare our children either, right? So we have to have these conversations. We tell them, you don't have to carry someone else's bias, but you do need to understand the world you're walking through.
yeah. Understand the world we're walking through. And today's conversation is not about changing who you are. You know, we've done a lot of shows, Teresa, about authenticity and all of that. But again, today's conversation is about helping us navigate situations safely while continuing to affirm our dignity and our worth.
One of one of the hardest lessons to teach is that not every battle should be fought in the moment.
Hmm.
Sometimes the strongest thing you can do is to leave.
Absolutely. Sometimes that is absolutely the wisest thing to do and the strongest thing to do. You can deal with it later. You know, I've told my son and people in my family, I'd rather hear your story after you walked away than hear someone else tell me what happened to you because you stayed. Being right isn't worth risking your safety. There are better places and better ways to seek justice than escalating a confrontation in a public space.
Mhm.
So, you know, if we want to talk about what you can do, if police or security approach you, and this is oftentimes one of the conversation none of us, no parent wants to have. We wish we didn't have to have it, but being a parent requires that we have hard conversations, that we do hard things to keep our kids safe. And it's something that many black families do, you know. So if police or security approach, keep your hands visible. Try to take a breath, stay calm, avoid any sudden movements. Speak respectfully. Yes, sir. No, sir. Yes, ma'am. Ask if you can call your parent or guardian.
These conversations can be emotional because we wish they weren't necessary. We're not saying these steps guarantee a particular outcome. We're saying they may help reduce confusion or escalation in a stressful moment. Another thing, Lou, is about sharing your plans.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know, I know this is a touchy subject, especially with teens, but it's so necessary and important. Location sharing, it's not about spying.
yeah.
It's about safety. Tell your parents, tell someone where you're going, who you're with, when you'll be back. If your plans change, also communicate that. It's
Yeah.
important for someone to know where you are.
And Teresa, when parents or caregivers or people with teens or children in their custody, when they're asking for that information, the kid's response is always, "You don't trust me," and they're feeling some type of way because they don't understand what they've done that you wouldn't trust them. They've tried to be responsible. They've tried to follow your rules and tried to make you proud. And that's what they're hearing. But, it's not that. Your response is, "I trust you. I'm preparing for the unexpected," because minutes matter so very much when I'm trying to locate you. So I need that information so I can move quickly to try and figure out what's happening or to make sure that you're safe. So I one lesson I hope every child remembers: if something feels off, trust your instincts. Leave. You don't owe anybody an explanation when you're trying to protect yourself. Hear that. Trust your instincts. If something feels off, get yourself away from that environment, and you don't owe anybody an explanation. You will deal with that later. If they think you're hyper or whatever, just get out of it.
That's right, Lou. If the party suddenly changes, the atmosphere changes, something's going on, you feel it. If someone makes you feel uncomfortable, if everyone else stays, it's okay for you to leave. It's
Hmm.
okay for you to call someone to come pick you up if don't leave alone,
Yeah,
but call someone, have someone come pick you up, call your parents. We'll come, you know, no questions asked. We'll figure everything out. Everything can be figured out later. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Don't worry about
yeah.
it. It's not,
That's
you
right.
don't lose any cool points by
Yeah,
leaving. And in my opinion, you gain them.
that's right. That's
You
right.
know,
That's right.
our final conversation is about knowing where to go when you need help. Talk to your children about identifying trusted adults in public places. Lil, this is important, right?
Hmm.
Teachers, coaches, store managers, front desk staff, even parents who are with their
Yeah,
children's
yeah,
parents who are supervising children,
yeah,
you know,
yeah,
all of them can and you hope are safe
yeah,
for your
yeah.
child to approach.
Right, right. So, teach your children to move toward busy, well-lit places rather than isolated ones whenever that's possible. The goal is to help them know they always have options if they feel safe. Teach them when they go in public spaces to look at the space and determine that.
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
know it sounds crazy, but you know what? That's our reality. Make an assessment about, okay, where can I be?
Right.
That will keep me safe. Now, Teresa and I have tried to arm you with some information, and of course, what we've shared is not exhaustive, it's not everything. So we are asking you, as our listeners, if there's something you can add to the conversation. We want you to add that, to send us an email, drop it as a comment on Instagram, whatever you can do to help us and to help the community in this area so our kids are safe and return home safely. If you've got something to add to today's discussion, don't hesitate to do that. And we will do our best to share that if it's valid, if we believe that is something that needs to be said. have no fear. We will do just that. But also, we want to talk with our allies. We are talking to you directly now. We're talking to like parents, coaches, teachers, and families and neighbors, those who have black children directly in their custody for any length of time. If a black child is ever in your care, first of all, first of all, thank you, because by them being in your care, that means we trust you. You've shown yourself to be trustworthy enough to have our children in your presence, our most precious being to us with you. And trust matters. That trust matters.
And with that trust, Lou, comes responsibility.
Yeah.
The first thing we ask is really simple. Believe us.
Mm-hmm.
Don't dismiss our concerns as overreacting.
Hmm.
When we create extra safety rules, they're rooted in our lived experience and in our desire to protect our children.
So true. They may seem crazy to you. They may seem, a bit too much, but we know our reality. You don't.
Hmm.
So just as we've trusted you, please trust us. So if conflict starts and our child is in your care, we're asking you not to stay to prove a point. Please remove our child. Protect them first. Arguments can wait. Safety cannot.
And if authorities or security become involved, stand beside our child.
Yes, stand with them.
Yeah. Help them to communicate calmly. Let them know that they are supported and that they're not alone. That presence can make a meaningful difference. Because, Lou, we're not just talking about in the moment, we're
Yeah,
talking about how even that situation may play out in their emotions later in
yeah,
their lives.
yeah. So, allies, if you can't find our child, if they're not answering, if something feels wrong, something feels off, call us immediately. Don't worry about upsetting us or us thinking you weren't doing a good job of taking care of them. Call us immediately, please. We would always rather respond to a false alarm than lose valuable time in locating our child and ensuring their safety and their return.
Lou, you said it earlier, please don't see it as us being extra.
Mm-hmm.
Please don't decide our boundaries are too strict. If we say no wandering, no late night outings, no to certain locations, honor that. Our decisions come from love, not fear.
And, you know, sometimes our children are with another family for a sleepover or maybe going to a sporting event or a church trip or some type of school event. We want we want to provide some guidance for what conversations in those instances should, what they sound like.
Mhm. Thank you for caring for our child. There's something important we'd like to share. Our child is Black.
Hmm.
We know that sometimes Black children face unique risks and are not always perceived or protected in the same way as other children.
We don't say it's right, but that's our reality.
That's right. When our child is with you, we ask you to help us keep them safe. Please let us know where you'll be. Call us if the plans change. If there's conflict or police involvement, prioritize getting our child to safety. Please don't let them wander alone in unfamiliar places. We're not asking you to be afraid. We're asking you to be intentional.
If our conversation today resonated with you, we hope you will continue at home. We hope that you will discuss this in your circle, that you will recognize the importance of being prepared. Maybe not all in one night, not as a big lecture, but little by little, conversation by conversation, that you will be okay with having a hard conversation if it provides some type of information of value to keep our kids safe.
I hope you guys see this with us. Preparation doesn't take away our children's joy. It helps protect it. We want our kids to laugh loudly,
Yes,
to dream boldly, to travel freely, build friendships, and just to experience childhood.
yeah,
And we want them to come home every single time.
every time, every time. Thank you for spending this time with us today. If this episode encouraged you, we beg you to share it with another parent, a grandparent, a coach, a teacher, or a family friend, a neighbor, because keeping our children safe, it is not the responsibility of one family. It is truly the work, the ministry of a community. So until next time, take care of yourselves, take care of one another, keep leading with love, and do what you can to keep our kids safe. This is the end of today's episode. We encourage you again to help prepare so that no kid, no family experiences what the Wells family is now going through.
Take good care.